That was the stock market Friday morning because Elon Musk's company SpaceX became publicly available to trade. This launch was the largest IPO in stock market history, pulling in $75 billion, and it officially made Elon the world's first trillionaire. So, in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what SpaceX company is doing that made this launch so successful, how it shook up the market today, and then I'm going to tell you exactly why I am personally investing in this stock. But before we get into it, drop a comment below. Are you buying SpaceX, waiting a few days to see how it performs, or are you staying out of it entirely? I want to see where everybody is at on this. All right, let's dive into it. So let's talk about what SpaceX actually is. SpaceX, otherwise known as Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, was founded in 2002 by Elon Musk. You probably know Elon from Tesla, or maybe you know him as the guy who bought Twitter, now called X. This guy has built multiple billion-dollar companies from the ground up, and SpaceX might just be his biggest one yet. It's definitely his most ambitious one in my opinion. But what does SpaceX actually do? We can break it down into three things that you need to know about the company. First, they launch rockets into space. In 2025 alone, they completed 165 orbital missions. Nobody else is even close to this number or doing these things. Second is Starlink. Their satellite internet service is this long line of satellites that are all connected together, and you can even see them rotating around the Earth at night with your naked eye. Starlink now has over 8 million subscribers and is one of the primary revenue drivers of the company. I was just on a flight recently and they were using Starlink as their main source of in-flight Wi-Fi. And the third thing SpaceX has going for it is they are actively working towards sending people on missions to Mars, with their Starship rocket built specifically for that purpose. Oh, and a small bonus. Earlier this year, they acquired xAI, Elon's artificial intelligence company. So this isn't just a rocket company anymore. This is a rocket, internet, and AI company all in one package. So now let's talk about what actually happened today. This morning, SpaceX listed on the Nasdaq under the ticker SPCX at an IPO price of $135 a share. Now, if you're not in finance, that last sentence might have sounded like a different language. So what exactly is an IPO? IPO stands for Initial Public Offering, and to simplify it, it's basically just the process by which a privately held company transitions to be a publicly traded company. This was the first time people were able to get their hands on owning a piece of SpaceX, and the market went crazy. It opened at $150, already 11% above the IPO price before lunch. By the end of the day, it hit $169. That's a 25% jump on day one alone. To put that into perspective, this was the largest IPO in stock market history, bigger than the titans like Google, Facebook, and Amazon. It was bigger than anything we've ever seen. $75 billion raised in a single offering. And for everyday investors, this was the first time you could actually buy into SpaceX. Up until today, this company was only available to venture capitalists and institutional investors, the big guys. But now anyone with a brokerage account can own a piece of it. Which brings us to the real question. Should you own a piece of SpaceX? Now, before you go throwing your whole paycheck into SpaceX, let's be real for a second. There are some things you need to know. First, we're going to talk about the losses. Despite all the hype, SpaceX recorded a $4.2 billion operating loss last year. That's billion with a B. The company is not profitable yet. The revenue is growing thanks to Starlink, but the spending is still massive and they are definitely in the deficit. Second, we have the valuation. SpaceX went public at a $1.75 trillion valuation. That is an enormous number for a company that is still losing money and in the negative. You're essentially betting on a future potential, not current performance. The stock definitely falls into the speculative category, which naturally means it's risky. And third, IPO hype is a real thing. Just because the stock jumped 25% on day one doesn't mean it'll necessarily stay there. The excitement drives the price up fast, and what goes up fast can come down just as fast. We could just as easily see a 25% drop by tomorrow. So those are a few reasons to pump the brakes when it comes to SpaceX. But here's the other side of the coin, the side that I personally am excited about. Elon's track record speaks for itself. I mean, Tesla was laughed at originally and no one thought he could pull it off. And now it's worth over $1 trillion. And look around, I see a Tesla on the road every single day. They're everywhere. Then we have Starlink. It went from an idea to 8 million subscribers. So Elon is a man who builds companies that win. Starlink alone is a cash-generating machine that funds everything else SpaceX is doing. And they just acquired an AI company. Space plus AI plus internet infrastructure is not a small bet. They have so many massive projects going on that could genuinely shape our future. I think that's pretty amazing, and something someone with that much money should be doing. I mean, the guy just crossed the $1 trillion net worth threshold today. That's genuinely insane when you think about it. And frankly, no other company on Earth is doing what SpaceX is doing at this scale. They own the commercial rocket launch market. Nobody else is even close. So, yes, there are risks, but the upside for SpaceX is hard to ignore. So why am I personally investing in this stock? Honestly, it starts with something even deeper than the numbers for me. I've been into space since I was a little kid. I've always thought it was really cool and that there are so many possibilities out there. I think watching Star Wars definitely had a lot to do with this. But to this day, I still have a NASA tag on my backpack that I bring to work every single day. 5 years ago, I even submitted my name to be put on a ticket inside a rocket ship that's headed to Mars. And that launch is actually scheduled for sometime this July, which is super cool. My name is literally going to Mars. So when I say I believe in what SpaceX is building, interplanetary travel, Starlink, AI infrastructure in space, that's something I've personally cared about and been interested in for a long time, and I think is a valuable frontier to try and conquer. And then you layer on the business side of Elon having a proven track record of building companies, Tesla, Starlink, The Boring Company, and now SpaceX. I'm buying SpaceX because I believe in the mission. I believe in the man behind it, and I truly want to see it succeed. Now, I do want to be clear. I'm not a financial advisor. You should absolutely do your own research. In no way am I preaching to everyone that they should be investing in SpaceX. I'm just being transparent about what I am personally doing with my finances. So, that's the full picture with SpaceX. The largest IPO in stock market history, raising $75 billion. A company building rockets, satellite internet, and an AI infrastructure in space. The stock jumped 25% on day one, and a CEO who just became the world's first trillionaire. So whether you're buying, waiting, or staying out entirely, now you know exactly what's going on with SpaceX and why it matters. If you like this video and want to see more finance content, subscribe. I make videos like this all the time and have more on the way, so stay tuned. Alright, that's it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.